Hello, how are you? I am Bernardo Duran. I am a student of Escuela de las Ciencias de la Educación. I am in the career of Licenciatura en Lenguas Extranjeras con énfasis en inglés. Today I'm going to share with you my research project. The date is December 2025 and the city is Bogota. Okay, so let's continue. A moment. Okay. The title of my research project is How Does Implementation of a Pedagogical Approach based on the use of popular English songs influence the motivation and engagement of 11th grade students in English class? Okay, type of paper. This is a research project. The research line is a qualitative mixed method approach with description and exploratory escape. The author is Bernardo Duran. The advisor is Norma Zuleima Garcia Fonseca. The keywords, we have some keywords like motivation, participation, sounds English, communicative approach, and meaningful learning. Okay, this project focuses on the intersection of these elements to enhance the English learning experiences. Okay, moving to the statement of the problem. What's this like? Yeah. For instance, our context reveals a low level of intrinsic motivation and participation among students in the English classroom. Many students found traditional grammar focused lessons tedious, learning to high anxiety and reluctance to speak. This disconnection between teaching methods and student engagement necessitates an intervention to make the learning process more relevant and enjoyable. The core problem was teaching environment that failed to effectively activate student interest and engagement, which are crucial for language acquisition. Yeah, so here we have there is a lack of pedagogical approach that connect English language learning with students' personal interest and emotional experience. This leads to positive poor performance in listening, comprehension, and speaking, and limited participation. Okay, we have here some theoretical like Osubel, Daisy and Ryan, and communicative approach. Language is best learned through authentic interaction, not just grammatical rules. Okay, let's continue. Okay, we have now the objective of the research project. The overall direction of this study is captured the general objective to analyze the impact of English songs on student motivation and participation in the English as a foreign language classroom. To achieve this, we establish four specific objectives. First, we aim to identify motivation and engagement levels before the intervention took place. The intervention took place. Second, the core of the project was to design and implement sounds-based teaching sequences. Third, we needed to analyze the changes in participation and attitudes observed during and after the implementation. Finally, uh, we thought to gather students' perception regarding the use of songs in their language learning process. Okay. Yeah. So the general objective analyze the impact of English songs and motivation and participation. So the specific objectives again identify motivation and engagement before intervention, design and implement songs-based teaching sequence, analyze changes in participation and attitude, gather student perception of songs in learning. Okay, let's continue. We have here the literature review. First, we have the global and national context. Okay, you can see there. So, the literature review provides the theoretical foundation of our intervention, looking at both global and national research. In 2020, Al Smari in Jordan found that using songs results in a significant boost in vocabulary retention, which speaks to their cognitive benefit. Moving to the national context, Diaz in Colombia in 2022 note a noteworthy increase in intrinsic motivation when utilizing songs, directly supporting our general objective. Also in Colombia, Camaños 2024 work reported improved listening and fluency skills with the use of English songs. Most more recently, uh, Ramalisa in Indonesia in 2025 confirmed that songs drive students' motivation. This body of work shows a consistent global trend, integrating music, uh, like a power, integrating music like a powerful tool for improving both affective factors and language skills. Okay, like learning vocabulary, listening songs. Okay. Okay, now the literature review, but the local context. So our local context review focuses on Bogota and similar regions. Further reinforced this. Martinez in 2021 found that using musical strategies reduce classroom stress. This is critical as anxiety is a major barrier to participation. Ramirez in 2022 highlighted that using material with cultural relevance builds youth engagement. Starting select songs directly address this need for relevance. And Silva in 2023 concludes that authentic audio surpasses textbook material in effectiveness. English songs being authentic input align align perfectly with this founding. Okay, so collectively, the literature validates our hypothesis. Songs are not just a fun activity, but a pedagogical sound strategy for fostering a less stressful, more engaging, and more relevant learning environment. Okay, let's continue. Okay, the methodology. Our study type utilize a qualitative phenomenological approach. The focus was on understanding the students' perception and live experiences regarding the use of English songs, rather than just measuring statistical outcomes. For design and instrument, we employed various data instruments for triangulation, including. Okay, so Likert scales for quantitative, purpose, motivation, measurement, observation checklist, and field note during the intervention, interview to gather in-depth final perceptions. Our procedure was structured in file works phrases. The core phases implementation of the teaching sequence with songs. Also, follow up through journal to capture ongoing reflections and post test and final interviews to measure change and gather deep insights. Okay. So the data analysis involve a quantitative analysis during coding, categorization, and thematic analysis, a process often associated with ground theory. This allowed us to identify concrete patterns related to motivation, participation, and their perception of learning. Okay. So, let's continue. Now we have here the results. Okay, so the result showed compelling evidence of success, particularly in higher engagement. The average motivation score increased significantly from 2.5 to 4.1 on the Likert scale. This is a massive jump, indicating a substantial shift in student attitude. Qualitative data showed that participation tripled during the zone activities, and the student report reduced anxiety about speaking English. Beyond affective factors, we also observe practical language gains, especially improved pronunciation, as students naturally imitate the authentic sounds in the music. In summary, the sound-based intervention successfully transformed the classroom atmosphere, fostering a more enthusiastic and less anxious learning environment. Okay, now, okay, mm, the moment because okay, the moment, this one. Okay, so now we have the discussion. So the discussion connects our finding back to established theories, focusing on three main themes. First, self-determination. Students choose zones which met autonomy and com- competence needs, confirming Daisy and Ryan's framework. Second, communicative focus. They use authentic materials, like songs in this case, naturally facilitate the negotiation of meaning amongst students. A discussion of the lyrics comprom- promotes real and spontaneous interaction. Students were able to practice the four skills: listening, speaking, reading, writing, in context, moving well beyond isolated rote grammar skills. Okay, we have to the yeah the songs achieve meaningful learning. This evaluate ensemble theory as music serve as an emotional anchor for the content. The music connects the linguistic content to the student's lived experience. Okay, and grammar was transformed into relevant, real input, and the lyric provide connect for the deeper retention of vocabulary and structures. Okay, yeah. So we have the communi- communi- communicative focus. Authentic material facilitate negotiation of meaning, discussion of lyric, promote reinterrection, practice of four skills in context, move beyond isolate word and grammars. Okay, that's what I said before. Okay, so now let's continue with the next slides. Wait a moment. Okay. Okay, so now we have the conclusions. So, in conclusions, the study definitively shows the songs boost motivation and engagement. The use of popular English songs significantly increased motivation, participation, and a positive um, perception of the learning process. Students demonstrated greater interest, a better attitude, and notable improved performance in both listening comprehension and speaking skills. Uh, this project provides a robust evidence-based strategy for engaging, enhancing the affective domain and communicative competence in EFL classrooms. Okay. Okay, we have the final recommendations. So, based on the findings, I offer three sets of recommendations. First, our educators and institutions integrate songs-based sequences regularly, allow student song selection, and combine songs with explicit vocabulary and pronunciation tasks. Second, for future research, conduct longitudinal studies, compare music genres, and explore transfer effects to writing and grammar. Third, for teaching training, include musical pedagogical design in language programs and promote low-tech resources like karaoke in resources constrained settings. That is the reference that I use for create my research project and for the slides. So thank you so much. Okay, that was the final recommendation. And thank you.